Hi there, I'm back out on this wonderful field which has given loads of stuff over the years, and if you saw a video a couple of videos ago, with my newfound knowledge, digging really, I'm going really slowly and digging the really iffy targets because I've been here enough. I think I've got the good ones out, I really do. But I think I probably, like all of us, when there's loads of good ones about, your ears aren't really picking up the slightly more, dare I say, iffy. I don't like iffy, I like missable. And I've already found a hammered coin. It's very, very worn, and I think it must be Tudor or Elizabethan. In fact, I can see the POS V, I think there are a few on this coin, and I think I can see on that side, yes, can I see a Z? Yes, a Z and an A. Now, if you see a Z and an A, I think you're fairly sure it's Elizabeth. I can't think off the top of my head other Zs and As on the legend of the obverse of a medieval hammered coin. There's probably loads, and please tell me all about them if you know about them, but that's what that is. So that's a little Elizabeth, very worn, very shiny silver coin. And then just here, now I'll switch you on for this. This sounded really foily and very close to the surface, so I didn't bother live digging it, even though I'm intending on doing a few live digs today because it's that sort of day. It's the sort of day that I should be fairly confident that whatever it is going to be fairly good because I'm getting the hang of this. It took me years to get the hang of the Deus I. In fact, after about 9 years with the Deus I, I still think I was learning it. Well, it's only a year with this and I'm still learning this. Now listen. I can get it on. I can see what it is, but I haven't. God. Ow, it's working well today. I mean, you shouldn't ignore these signals, whatever, because it's probably going to be something good. But hammered coins, as you all know, they don't always make a nice ding 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 silver sound. They're very thin, most of them. Now this is a hammered coin, but I don't know which one it is yet. I mean, it's very dark. Oh gosh, it may be Saxon. It is. It's a Saxon one. I knew it was hammered because it was that shape and that colour and that sound, but I didn't know it was Saxon. Now, I'm not going to rub it too much. I know I always say that, and I really do try not to. We're not going to rub it too much. I've got a feeling it's Ed with the Confessor, only because I've found them before, and I think that's him on that side with his sceptre or whatever. It just looks like other portraits, but what I haven't found is I've not found that reverse with what looks like a wheel and spokes and things like that. So I don't know anything about the reverse of that coin, but I do know a bit about the coin itself. That's absolutely fabulous. Gosh, that was unexpected. Not that, I mean, I have found a Saxon coin here before, but I was just not really, my mindset when I got up this morning was you'll find things, but perhaps not particularly special. Well, that's really special. Look, let's take this straight back to headquarters and have a look at it there. Let's go. Hi there and welcome to headquarters to have a quick look at this coin, this incredible coin. We've got a lot to get through today. It really was possibly the best day I've ever had, and I've said it, I say it a couple more times in the video. It was just bonkers, bonkers, bonkers. But before anything else, I'm absolutely thrilled with the response from my idea in the last video about doing a day's detecting for 2 people with me and the proceeds going to a charity. From all the comments, I'm overwhelmed by how popular it seems to be, which is absolutely brilliant. So we are definitely 100% going to go ahead with it, and I'm really looking forward to it already. Now, the fields that I have in mind, there'll be 2 or 3 depending on availability. They're not going to come up now till early summer. They will probably have some sort of vegetable in them, which tends to get harvested slightly earlier. So with any luck, it'll be early summer. The weather will be nice. It'll give me a bit of time to think about how exactly to go around doing it, setting up a charity giving page. And I think what we'll do is I won't go on about it for too much more between now and then, but I'll give everyone a month and a half's notice to be able to be available for a possible day out with me. And I think it's going to be brilliant. I think the uptake is going to be absolutely phenomenal, which is superb. So if nothing else, something really good may have come out of all this. So onto this coin now. I was right, it was Edward the Confessor. The main bust of Edward the Confessor, which is called very quickly arm and scepter type, I think, which is him facing left and with a sort of helmet on and holding a scepter, is quite common in Edward the Confessor coins. He was around for quite a long time, for 24 years, 1042 to 1086. And there seemed to be about, well, probably 10, 12 main coins of his. It's not the same as one I found before. I'll show you that one in a second. This one, actually, a lot of them, as I'll show you as well here, centre around the cross on the reverse. You have some small crosses, but more often than not, they are voided crosses going the length of the inner circle. So they can be quite confusing if you're not used to them. Some have things inside them, some have things on the outside, little sort of quarter circles on the outside, etc., etc. This one is called expanding cross type for obvious reasons. You can see that the cross starts from the center and the voided arm goes out slightly like that, and it's just a brilliant coin, and it's just a lovely coin, very, very dark. I haven't cleaned it at all. A beautiful little Saxon penny. Now I put it up on the detectinghub.co.uk just to double check, and Electus. I can't show you too much because there's a brilliant coin as well, which I put up in the same post, which you won't see till a bit later. And Electus goes even further to say that it is BMC5, which correlates with this one, BMC5, and it's Bruine. I'm terrible with my R's, so please forgive me if it sounds more like Bruine, but it is an R, Bruine, Bruinne, or Brunwine of Ipswich. So that's that coin, and this one is the one I thought it might have been at the time. It's a very, very similar one. You will have seen it in a previous video, and it's the trefoil quadrilateral type. So there's those two coins there and there, and they tend to be, I'm not saying Edward the Confessor coins are common, they are not common, but these two seem to be possibly more of the more found ones amongst him, even though there's plenty more out there to be added to the collection, hopefully. So that's that coin, and let's go back to the fields. We come back here a couple more times. Well, wowee, that wasn't even an iffy signal. That was an obvious signal, but just very close to the surface. But as I said, look, molehills everywhere. There are things, I found a Roman coin last time I was here on the surface, literally on the surface, and it wasn't even a molehill. It was obviously where a molehill had been. So I'm digging everything here. Well, gosh, it's taken me a bit of time to get. I've bloody lost it now. Here it is. Now, can you hear that? Above the dog barking. It's a nice little buzzer, isn't it? I've been digging a lot of lead, so that's what it might be, but I've got to dig all these signals now. I've been in this field enough times. I've got all the obvious stuff out, so now I'm just having to rely on the deeper stuff, I think, which has been good fun. But I'll show you something in a minute that I've just found. I'm definitely digging more iron. I'm having to. I see, I don't think that's iron. It sounds more high-pitched in my ears than the speaker. I think it's just there. It's definitely buzzy, isn't it? It's not, and that can tend to be lead. Well, I don't know now. Let's have a look. Ah, dreaded rifle round. Well, that's not even a cartridge. That is the end. That's the, well, it's a 410 cartridge, I think. But look, I mean, that, it's infuriating, isn't it, a bit? Because that is proper Roman coin territory. I mean, if that's what makes that sound, that those buzzy sounds could be Roman coins as well. But as I said, I'm having to dig all these now. But I just have found a very nice buckle, which looks very minimalist and sort of fairly modern looking. It's not, I'm sure of it. I think these ones really are quite early, probably 1250, 1450. That's the sort of range they give these. You can see where there's been file marks and stuff, but that's not particularly exciting looking, but it's definitely old. And then this is the second one of these I found by accident. What does it sound like now? Well, just like iron now, but it was enough to be deceiving down there. Now, I think this is a spearhead or an arrowhead of sorts. I can't think what else it is being that shape, and it looks to be slightly sort of chamfered there and there, going up into a sort of slight sort of blade. The other one I had definitely had a socket to it. I can't see where if that's had a socket. I don't think so. I think it, well, I don't know. I'm not an expert on arrowheads or spearheads, but that to me looks like an arrowhead. So there's definitely things here, but I'm digging up more iron. I won't pretend I'm not. But I'm having to dig those slightly irony deceiving signals that we were looking at a couple of videos ago. I'll put a link to that here. I won't put it up here, actually. I'll put it down below so you can watch it later. Well, I'm glad I didn't live dig this. This would have taken ages. Well, it did take ages to get out. It was deep, deep, deep. I mean, I thought it was probably iron. It's a huge, great big bronze bit of something or other. Lord knows what pot, probably, I would have thought. I just don't know. But it's a big, big piece of very loud old metal, I think. Well, I know. I know it's a big, but don't know what it was part of. But worth digging, isn't it? Just in case that was an axe head or something. Well, we better have a go at this one, because I just found another fabulous thing, which was very obvious sounding. We're not supposed to be doing the obvious ones. You don't come across, gosh, it's working well today, this speaker. That sounds loud, it's because it is loud. But I don't think it's very close to the surface. I think it's just big. So it might well be a rifle round or something horrible like that. Or something to do with this, maybe a big nail or something when they were making this horse thing. Shows how good I am with horses. But it's not there, so... God, actually that's blowing my... Now, I don't think it can be any good, but... God, it's tiny. It's tiny and boring. It's just a modern piece of... Oh, God, it's a sod's law at the moment, isn't it? It's a sort of pulley or something. I'm not going to get my other camera out for that. It's so boring. You try your best to get really sort of obvious ones. Then where's this other thing? It's keeping with the Saxon theme. I found a lot of dodgy cartridges and buttons and stuff as well today. That's quite a nice button, funnily enough. Let's have a quick look at that. Don't get very excited about buttons. I know none of you do particularly, so I try not to make too big a thing about them, but that's quite nice. It's got a star on it. It looks like it had been sort of one of a duffel coat or something like that. I don't think it's very old, but quite nice. Anyway, and this. Now I think that's a Saxon brooch. My initial thought was Roman, but I don't think it is. I think I think that would have come into some sort of cross of sorts, and that would have maybe fanned out into a foot where the catch was. You can see where the pin would have been there. So that, I think, is a 6th or 7th century Saxon brooch, which is a little bit later, a little bit earlier rather, than the coin we found. But still, 2 nice bits of bronze, especially that bit. I mean, wow, what a day we're having already. I didn't feel it was going to be, as I said, I wanted to come out today a lot, especially as it wasn't forecast like this. 3 or 4 days ago they said it was going to be sheet rain. I didn't think I was going to get the chance, and I'm not going to be able to get the chance for a couple of weeks after this. So I was champing at the bit to get out when I saw the forecast in the morning that it was going to be nice and sunny all day, but I just didn't have particularly high hopes. But so far it's been fabulous. Well, look, let's dig this buzzer right next door to it. And if this is rubbish, I might stop the live digs temporarily and get on with it, because it's just one of those days I get the feeling we're going to just keep finding nice things, and I don't want to be set. This one's easy because I just had to turn the camera, just swivel it round slightly. Right, come on. Still in there, a nice bit of depth. Well, I must say, I didn't think it was going to be as deep as this. That's got to be, I would have thought, 7 or 8 inches. Oh God, it's just a rubbishy piece of aluminium, old aluminium. I don't know much about the mine labs and the manticores and all the rest of it, but it was a video someone did recently comparing Deus II to the manticore. The manticore was hitting some nice deep targets, I've got to say, but he kept on saying, oh, the Deus II missed that, missed that, missed that. And they were missing the hammered coins and the little bits of Roman coin at about 4 or 5 inches. Now, I didn't know the guy very well at all, and I get a bit annoyed when people get a bit brand obsessed on my channel, and I said I wasn't going to do it on his, but I thought, I wouldn't be missing stuff like that with the Deus II. No way, just no way. Not on pasture. The Deus I, once you got the hang of it, was good on pasture as well. I do think the Deus II is better, definitely, but he was going, oh, Deus II missed that. Well, I don't know really what setting. I think he was on the general setting, but I resisted going, don't slag the Deus off. He can do what he likes. And he wasn't slagging it off necessarily, but you won't be missing those with this. Now that really didn't make a sound like it ought to have done. It was just in there, literally, hardly in it at all, an inch. It sounded really dull and boring. It's one of those buckles which are much earlier than they look. They look completely modern, like they look like something they would have worn in the army in the Second World War. They're not. They're medieval buckles. Has that got any design on it? I think it might do there. Look, there. We'll have a look when we go back to headquarters quickly. But that would have had that bit there to stop whatever had gone through it. Can't remember. Sorry, my technical jargon today is not very good. Someone said to me the other day, get some hand cream. Well, that's very sweet of you. It looks like I need it, but I really don't. I promise you, it's the camera makes my hands much drier than they are. They're all right, really. Trust me. Anyhow, that is quite an early one, believe it or not. And it's lovely. In such good condition. 1200? Well, let's not say 1200. Let's say 1400, probably. Beautiful with its strap end. Hooray! This could easily be iron. There's a bit of a grunt, isn't there? But I'm getting a squeak definitely there. And a definite squeak there. I think this is iron, but I'm willing to risk it in this field now where we've got to be digging all these. We've got to be risking it with these. I wouldn't, when I was first here 9 or 10 times ago, wouldn't have dug this, I don't think. but now I've got to. Well, that's sounding a bit more cheerful, isn't it? Still think it might be iron, but there's enough about it that makes me feel. Give it a go. I've lost it, whatever it is. I think it's. Right, it's just there. Gosh, that's deep. That's 11, 10 inches easily. Ah, rats! It is iron. I can't find it. Don't want to find it. God, is that what it is? That little tiny lump? Yeah, sounds like it, doesn't it? Gosh, little tiny. How annoying. But I did think it just probably was. Is there something else in there? Hang on. In the clod, there's something non-ferrous there, so maybe we were right. Can you believe it? Okay, hang on. Well, that's charming. It's another tiny little buckle. I mean, wow. So maybe, well, look, let's not, I won't bore you with the whys and ifs, but worth a dig. Look at this. This is charming. It's a tiny little buckle. I've got to be rather careful. It's got its pin still in it. It's not unlike the one we found here last time, even though that was a funny lozenge shaped one. This isn't. This is just incredible, the condition that some of the things in here are. Well, look, it's got its strap end there, the remnants of. Look how tiny it is. So, as I've said to you guys before, we'll clean that up and have a look at it back at headquarters when we go back properly, so I don't break the pin. I don't want to break the pin of that. As I said to you before, please don't go around digging loads and loads of iron and then come back and blaming me. It's up to you. As you know, I'm ruthless about what I dig and what I don't dig, and I usually don't dig it, but at the moment I am digging all these little bits and pieces, and I am digging a lot of iron as a result, but I'm also digging tiny things like that. I'm thrilled. You're pitting yourself and your machine against this being masked possibly by that little horrible bit of iron. Well, look, hooray! I didn't think I was going to find one of these today. It's a little Roman coin. It's in beautiful condition. It looks like one of the sons of Constantine. Cons, I can see that side. Soldier and standard on the other. Any guesses? Yeah, looks like it. You know, gosh, that's worn. Yeah, soldiers and two standards by the look of it. That really is worn through age. The whole coin's quite worn, but not corroded. God, and some Roman. Wow, lovely little coin. I think that's going to look better like that than it will cleaned up, funnily enough. I think the mud's giving it some relief. My God, I've just had one of those moments. I've turned it over and I'll beep it out. All I said was, I flipped it over and me came out of my mouth, and I ran and got my cameras, because I cannot explain it. I've left it just where it is now. For all I know, it could still be a bottle top, but I don't think it is a gold bottle top. I think it's a big gold coin, and I think it's a big gold hammered coin, and my heart is absolutely pounding. I just felt today that I just felt that I was going to find nice things. I didn't feel it was going to be a record-breaking one, but that, I think, is a gold hammered coin. I had to bust those roots out. Let me just feel the weight. Yeah. Yes, it is. It's a... Wait, well... I've only ever found one of these before in my life. And I would be lucky to find that. And to find a second one, well, that's just mind-blowing. Now, I don't know what it is. It's probably a half Nobel or something like that. I don't think it's a quarter one. I think it's too big for that. And I think the last one I found was Edward III. I don't know who this is. Now, I am going to take some of the mud off, whether you like it or not. You've got the ship on that side, which were on these coins. I don't know if we have the monarch on that side, or well, it's just a cross, isn't it? Is that a foreign one, perhaps? I don't think so. I don't know even how old that is. I don't even want to... I'm not even going to hazard a guess. It's just an absolute corker. And I will go on. I will go on, because I want to, but I'm not going to be able to think now. I mean, that is just amazing. And just more than I could ever ask for today. Where's it gone? There it is. Those nettles, I don't care if I sting myself. Wow, well look. Let's go back to headquarters and have a closer look at this. Give me a chance to have a sit down, pull myself together slightly. Okay, let's go. Well, nothing blows you away more, does it, than finding gold. I mean, it's just, I mean, there's a sort of primeval sort of sensation about it, and it's no wonder that over the years people became so obsessed with it. It's just the most extraordinary thing. And the other extraordinary thing is that, rather wonderfully, I mean, it comes out the same colour as it goes in this case some 1600 1700 years ago when it was lost. Now, as I said, I am fortunate enough to have found one of these before. At the time, I'll show you in a second, at the time, part of me thought, well, this is a bit odd, because I could remember the one I found before, which is this one. It's a half Nobel, and it's Edward III, and it has the ship on one side and all sorts of crosses type things and crowns and flowers and all the things going on the other side. And I remember the size and weight of it. You don't forget something like that. And when I bought this out, I automatically thought, well, that just feels bigger than the half one I found, but surely a proper gold Nobel, if that's what it is, would be even bigger. I mean, it's so similar to the one I found, and even though I've not found one, the quarter Nobels are obviously even smaller, sort of quarter the size. And there wasn't an awful lot to go on, and that's a very good reason for A, being feeling a bit on the small side, and B, not really having an awful lot to go on, because it's a full gold Nobel. But if you look closely at it now, look, almost the entire legend, about, I don't know, 2-3 millimeters around the outside's been clipped off. You can hardly read anything. You can just see the bottom of the letters. It's quite smooth as well. It's obviously been, well used, and it's a bit wonky. They rather like this one. Part of me doesn't want to get them straightened. I rather find it very charming, the fact that they are a bit sort of gold and soft and a bit sort of wonky and bent. So that's why it didn't feel at the time maybe quite as big as you'd expect, if you were lucky enough to find one, a gold Nobel to be. If you look in your spink, these gold Nobels, these gold coins are very, very similar. I mean, my God, I won't bore you with it now, but I reckon they're hard to identify. Even harder if you've got no writing to go on. That didn't pose a problem for our electors on the detectinghub.co.uk, mind you. He got it immediately. He said very, very firmly, heavily clipped Edward III Nobel. There's no disputing that. But he goes on a little bit further on to even to be a bit more specific. How he does it from that, I just don't know. But he says 4th coinage treaty period. So if we go to Edward III, he was the first monarch to properly start having gold coinage in circulation again. which is really cool, finding such an early one. So we go to Edward III. Here we go. The first gold coinage was not successful, and it was replaced later the same year by a heavier coinage, the Nobel, valued at 6 shillings 8 pence. Now let's go to the what did he say? Fourth coinage, treaty period. Here we go. Fourth coinage, 1351 to 1377, treaty period. Here we are. And there we are, and there it is there. Now that is the size it should be, and this is the size that we've got here. So yeah, we're missing 1.5 millimeters off the outside. It doesn't make it an awful lot smaller, but just that little bit, just a gram or so, I imagine. Anyway, got a whole one, albeit a bit clipped, and a half one. And that's just amazing. I mean, you would be lucky enough to find one of these coins in 10 lifetimes, let alone 2 now, which just is just, I mean, I'm going to have to decide what to do with it, because I don't know if the landowner is going to want to keep this, or hopefully he'll let me buy him out, because fortunately it is so clipped. It's probably not worth as much as it would be if it was in really, really good condition. But it's just an incredible coin. Wow. Tasks. Come here. Come on. Tasks, come here. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to that. And let's go back to the fields. Well, we'll dig this quickly as well. It's not far from the gold one. Funny enough, don't want to... I think my camera's just run out of batteries, which is annoying, the big one. So you might just have to rely on the little one from now on. I don't think I'm going to be out. There it is anyway. I don't think I'm going to be out much longer. I won't be able to concentrate. Just one of those days, my God. It's funny on YouTube, we've got to keep making more and more exciting titles, more and more exciting thumbnails, keep everyone watching. When you have a really good day like this, like some people, and you put gold all over your thumbnail and you do your best to try and attract people to watch. Well, this is one of these days, you're not going to have to try too hard, whether people do or not. Just there. Not very deep. Doesn't matter though. It's another coin. It's another hammered coin. I really don't mean to say it like that. Someone very sweetly said on one of my videos recently, a guy in America, he's a really nice guy actually. He said, oh God, just another hammered coin. You know, we'd be lucky to find one of those here, exclamation mark. And I really never mean to try to come across as being all just another hammered coin. Never, ever, ever. I mean, I'm absolutely thrilled. I mean, there's nothing better than finding hammered coins. And to find one just like that here is amazing. So if I sound a bit sometimes, oh, it's another hammered coin, I really don't mean it. In here, I'm loving it. What it is, it's a hammered coin. It's a small hammered coin. It's in beautiful condition. I think it's an Edward. I think it might be. It's either a clip penny, or it's a halfpenny. Either way, he's rather lovely. We've just gone to headquarters, so we won't go back with this, but that's in beautiful condition. And on the other side, we have a Civitas, and it's a London Mint. I think I can see LON there. I think that's a penny, and you can see it's been clipped within an inch of its life. Can't even see the dun or the civvy on that. So someone's just been on one side, he's just managed to keep Edward there, but on the other, the way it's been struck, he's eaten away all the legend. Gosh, the flies are a bit bad here. Anyway, that's a lovely coin. Wow. Cool. Well, can you imagine if this had been as special as it might have been? I think I would have given up metal detecting. I think I would have just called it a day and thought, you know what, I'll finish on a high note. And just not bothered. Just gone home and sold my detector and thought, let's do something else now. Look at this. I mean, that it's brand new. I think I can feel a pin there. I think it's a badge of sorts. but it's a very modern one. Look, what I do love though is look, the way badges were made now and 2,000 plus years ago is almost the same. There's a catch there, and there's where the pin would have been. It's almost identical now than the Romans and Saxon ones we find. But I think that's very modern little brooch of sorts. Gosh, can you imagine when I first saw those little roundels coming off the silver? I thought, oh my god, I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna get better than this. Well, as if this day could not get any better. I mean, this is just a bit nuts. Sounds all right now, but it was a bit scratchy. I've come to a different part of the field because I needed to break it up a bit. It was getting a bit quieter and it's now got a bit quieter here. But I've just dug this up now. It was scratchy sounding in about 9 inches down. It's better sounding there. And I thought, just another hammered coin. Of course, it's not just another hammered coin. It's a hammered coin, hooray, the best thing ever. Now I can see a crown there and some wispy hair, some curly hair. And so I thought Edward. Looked at the legend a bit more seriously. It's very, very, very shiny. And the legend says Artus or Ertus, E-R-T-U-S. So I thought, that's not Eduardus. I mean, that's not D-U-S, that's a T-U-S. So my mind's thinking, what's a king with a Latin name ending T-U-S? But I turned it over and there's the telltale signs. It's the stars in each quarter of the long cross. Now, I'm really excited about this because that to me says Scottish coin, and I've never found a full Scottish penny, ever. I've found quarters and halves, but I've not found a full one. So my brain's thinking, is it Robertus? Now, I know Robert the Bruce was Robertus, and I've got a feeling there were at least 2 more Robertuses. I think there was up to Robert III. I don't know if they were sons or fathers or grandparents or whatever, but I think that's what it is. I think it's an Ertus. So that's a Scottish coin, and depending on which Ertus it is, I think what's it, Battle of Bannockburn was 1314 against Edward I. That's Robert the Bruce. I don't know about the later ones, but we'll soon find out because we're taking this straight back to headquarters. I am stopping on this as soon as you finish. So if you don't want the headquarters bit to find out what it is, I'll say goodbye to you now. Bye. If you do want to come and see what this is, then please join me. But that's me now. I think that is possibly the best day's metal detecting I have ever had. I think I probably had more enjoyable ones, but that was such fun still. And for finds wise, I don't, depending again on this one, which I think is if it's what I think it is, I think that's the most special day I've ever had. Anyway, let's go back to headquarters. See if the sun will come out for me. And I'll say goodbye from there. Okay, let's go. Well, I'm absolutely thrilled with this, and it's another first for me. I mean, what a day. I'm not going to go on about it too much, but it really was just oof. There's no point in me looking in this for this coin because this does, and it's an easy trap to fall into when you're looking at Irish and Scottish coins, thinking that it's a UK coin. This only deals with the coins of England. You're not going to find anything Scottish or Irish in here. I think Spink do a Scottish and an Irish version. Might be worth getting if you're finding lots of them, but this is a Scottish coin. Now, the other thing about it is that I thought that it looked to me like the crown was an Edwardian crown with a sort of monarch facing like that, because I could see the hair on one side. It's not. These coins have the monarch facing right, and the hair that you see on one side is not that hair there. It's the hair coming down the back. And as we pointed out rightly at the time, it's an Ertus, it's a Bertus, and that is Robert. I didn't know much more of it than that. I will show you a photograph here of another, but again, Electus confirmed it's a Robert II Edinburgh penny. And that's just, well, it's a first for me. As I said, I have found these coins. I don't know how the Edinburgh works on it. On the reverse, but you can clearly see the stars in each quadrant, and it's the first one of these, and it's the first full Scottish penny that I've found. I've found halves and I've found quarters. I've not found a full one before, so that's just wonderful, and it's so shiny and just good looking. And very quickly, while we're on the point of spink not been good for Scottish and Irish coins, because that's not what it deals with it, I do read a lot of people's comments sometimes saying, I couldn't find my Roman coin in spink. You're not going to find your Roman coin in spink. I mean, if you wanted to do a book on spink type book on Roman coins, it would have to be about that big. They deal with coins that you're likely to find, and they deal with coins that have a particular relation with the British Isles, Carhahart electors, people like that, who were issuing coins, you know, which were from the UK, even though there was a mint in London and I think in Colchester. But don't think about trying to use spink for Roman coins, because it ain't going to work. I don't have time to go into Robert II too much now. You'll have to look him up if you want to know a bit more about him. I think he was the son of Robert the Bruce. I'm not sure. I've looked him up quickly myself. He wasn't the son, he was the grandson of Robert the Bruce. He was the son of Walter Stewart and Marjorie, who was daughter of Robert the Bruce, so he's the grandson of Robert the Bruce. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me on that completely fabulous day, and I look forward to seeing you on the next.